Oh, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to AM2PRO. My name is Rel, and joining me is Stealth here for the final game that is going to be streamed today here at AM2PRO, and it is a good one. Epsilon going up against Nexium. We are definitely looking forward to this.
I am after that intro.
Oh, yeah. As you can, I'm not a boxing intro person. I am a podcaster, as you can probably tell.
Yeah, well, it got me hyped. So I'm hoping it got the rest of you hyped at home as well. So we're going to get straight into this one, going into Biolab Hardpoint. Now, it is a winner bracket round 4, I believe.
Yes.
So both sides have won every single one of their matches so far, but one of them will be dropping into the losers bracket after this.
Yes, and just to give you a bit of a rundown of the teams here, Epsilon, of course, one of the big names in competitive Call of Duty in the European scene. Marky B, Reedy, Joe, and Rated featuring in that lineup. Nexium is, of course, going to be L, Tank, Riri, and the most annoying gamer in the world, Rez. We're going to see how these guys are going to fare up. And you know what? Let's start off with Rez.
Yeah, well, he's going to be straight over the top with a stun grenade. He's not going to really hit anything with it. But, you know, this is just Rez view. He's a bit reckless like that.
But, you know, a lot of people, for all the criticism he gets, and, you know, he is a big personality in the scene, he is a really good player, and you can't take that away from him. So, straight away here with Nexium, making the first move, making a big impact on this game. It is going to be L soaking up those points on P1. And
it's what you kind of really expect to see from the Sentinel squad. They get the better spawns, they spawn a lot closer, so they're going to pick up, you know, the early points. But you kind of expect Epsilon to break it down pretty quickly, and they haven't done so. Within 30 seconds already, 24 points are on the board for Nexium, nothing for Epsilon.
Yeah, I mean, the best Epsilon have been able to do so far is simply contest that circle hardpoint area, and as the time dwindles on it, they're not going to be able to recover. They're going to have to get set up for the second hardpoint if they want a good start here. Reedy is doing what he can, though, and making sure that his team do secure at least some points from this first place.
Yeah, nicely done there by Reedy, picking up the scrap time, making sure that lead will not stretch out any further for Nexium, as the rotation has already come in, but it will be Nexium taking that one too.
Yep, great rotation from these guys, and I know they are a very well-practiced team, but one thing to point out, they only narrowly found themselves here in winner bracket round number 4 after winning every single series that they've been placed in so far at AM2PRO. It went down to round 11 on the final map against Hostile. Commiserations to those guys, but big clutches made by Nexium.
Yeah, now it's Epsilon in control of this hard point, and it's Joe who picks up a nice kill straight onto the headshot. He's going to pick up the second. Going to get the third? No, he does get shut down. So unfortunate. And that will be Tank that actually picks up the kill.
And Marky, now the tactician here, throwing himself into the line of fire, doing what is necessary for his team, trying to fight back, but it is all Nexium so far. I've got to say, going into this game, they seem the most pumped for it. We can hear the screams of the 14-year-old on stage. It may be Rez, I'm not quite sure, but it's certainly somebody is getting loud and trying to boost morale for his team.
He is indeed, and he's not doing too badly for his side. He's 9-8. You'd kind of expect him to do a little bit more, but you look at L, he's 11-3 against the likes of this Epsilon squad. That's impressive.
Yes, not doing bad at all. I mean, do you know what? Let's stay with L. He's having a great game so far. This hill is under contest, and you can just see him coming out on top. And I think that's a really important point. You know, he's making these kills, he's staying alive, but also he's in those hard point areas. He's not distancing himself, and for lack of better words, just playing 4 kills.
Yeah, I want to point out as well that Tank was actually 1-5 going into the second hill. He's actually stepped his game up quite a bit. He's 7-9 at this minute, and you know, nicely done for him. He's just got another kill to just add to his tally.
Yeah, and I think this would be a massive upset, really, if Epsilon weren't to clean sweep Nexium. I don't want to take anything away from those guys, but Epsilon have always been at the top tier of competitive Call of Duty. Pretty much since the day they found themselves competing in this scene. If they've not been placing first, they've certainly made it to generally second place. So to get knocked down in winner bracket round number 4 would certainly be an upset.
Oh, this will be indeed. We kind of expect Epsilon to be in the grand final alongside Vitality. Yeah. But, I mean, Nexium putting up a hell of a good fight so far. As we go into the 4th hardpoint, Joe picks up 1 kill. Unfortunately, does get shut down in the end by L. Still L on a bit of a tear.
Yep, and you know what, let's give some love to Nexium here, because these are the forerunners here. Only very narrowly, though, 5 points separating both of these teams. Still all to play for. Riri there, big kills on Catwalk, trying to get himself towards top green. Finds a second. Is he going to follow it up with a third? No, and he just runs out of ammunition at the worst possible moment.
Yeah, so unfortunate. It will be Tank trying to hold down the hard point alongside Rez. Rez going to get one. He does. It gets tagged up. He's going to see the one player just jump around ahead of him, and that will be Marky that shuts him down.
And Marky now soaking up these points, and Marky loves this position. You'll notice him go here quite a lot. If you ever see him play hardpoint on top green, and he just kind of bounces up and down there, hopping
Marky.
up and down, just making himself a nuisance. And Marky going huge on that hardpoint. Big three-piece, just keeping it for his team, allowing them to rotate. That's massive play from Marky.
Oh yeah, he's on a 6-point streak, and he would have just continued straight into that as he goes into the next hardpoint. But we're going to switch up on Hopperball with Joe, who does get taken out from behind. Reedy there as well. Unfortunately, 3 players down for Epsilon, and this is looking good for Nexium. If they can hold this down for at least a couple more seconds, it's a very solid start going into the second half. Yeah,
I mean, the whole of Nexium have completely flooded this area. You will see pretty much all the players trying to get in there. There's not really an obscure position you can find to defend or help your teammates out. You've just got to push in and contest and try and get on top, and that's exactly what's happened. This is the final hardpoint of the first half, and you can see that scoreline is so close, still all to play for, and I've got to say, credit to Nexium here. They're putting up one heck of a fight.
Yeah, I've only actually just noticed that Mark is actually on 22 and 16. If he carries on this way, we're going to see a 40 bomb, and I'm hoping to see that come from him. Well, he's had an exceptional series so far, well, tournament so far, and I really want to see him, drop some massive numbers.
And you can see there, Epsilon really dominating that kill feed and getting set up for the next hardpoint. Marky's got to be careful because those tanks have come in at a really inconvenient moment, and they are going to explode. Surely somebody's going to go for the shot on them, but Marky's managing to stay alive.
Yeah, he's done well there. He picks up one. Unfortunately, wasn't able to pick up any more. And now he's going to hop on board with Riri. He's going to be able to pick... Well, he's going to shoot the barrels, not hoping that someone's coming around the corner. Unfortunately, he does get taken out from behind. As Rez picks up 2. He picks up a 3rd. Rez, behave yourself.
Wow, Rez. And he finds... almost finds the 4 still alive. And finally, everybody's favourite gamer girl does get shut down in that hardpoint area. Rez, though, on absolute fire, doing a great job.
Yeah, Epsilon now take the lead 104 to 110 with 30 seconds left on this first hardpoint of the second rotation, and it's looking pretty good. Rez trying to stay alive as long as possible, unfortunately not able to, and it will be Joe and Reedy holding down the last few scraps of time.
Yeah, and I think that's enough rips for Rez for today. I've got it all out of my system now, Stealth. That's all I needed to do. And we can focus on the game from here on in. So Joe is going to get shut down there. Reedy flooding in. And again, it's just floating back into the net difference between the teams is swinging in either both ways. But Epsilon are now establishing some sort of a lead here. And I can see them holding on to this.
Yeah, Nexium were, again, the quicker on the rotation. And it will pick up like a fair amount of points off this if Epsilon just can't really... They're not really getting aggressive enough. You've just seen they're sitting far too passive.
And yeah, it's something they're certainly going to have to take heed of, particularly if we move on to the Uplink games in the later stages. This is still going to be a best of 3. Uplink Detroit will follow this game. Whether it goes to search and destroy, well, we will just have to see. Riri, though, under fire there, managing to stay alive in the hardpoint area. Does get contested. Again, Riri making plays alongside his teammates, still alive, and big plays there as Riri manages to keep hold. 1-8 to 1-8.
Yeah, fantastic play from Riri just to stay alive. Picks up the points, gets a kill for his troubles. He's going to push out towards Red Generator. He does get taken out, and 3 players down for Nexium, meaning that Epsilon can pick up this last few 10 seconds.
Great work from Reedy there, just staying alive, making himself impossible to hit. Going to get those final few points, but does wisely opt to go for the rotation. Leaves Marky on his own. Somebody's got to stay there, and Mark is going to be that guy. 10-point lead, that is going to be nothing. Joe, though, set up well.
Yeah, Joe's staying on top of these blue crates. He's going to get challenged from this window. He doesn't end up getting the kill in the end. He will have the support of his teammates, though, and he will get contested as Reedy takes him down. And
I've got to say, this hard point on Biolab is probably, in my opinion, the easiest one to hold if you can get a good lockdown, a good surround on it. So Epsilon in a great position here. You can see Reedy just making use of the high ground there alongside Joe, making him really difficult to actually pincer, and they're soaking up pretty much every single point available here. And this could be the downfall of Nexium.
Yeah, it will be, but Riri does finally get taken off of that hard point, and he will be contested in here. Riri trying to pick up his assists, and nicely done from him. He does have the support of Rez there, so they're going to pick up a few extra points and make sure that Epsilon don't stretch this lead out any further. With 13 seconds left, they're possibly going to think about a rotation any minute. Yeah, I've got to say, I'm so impressed with Nexium here. Collectively as a team, they're working so well, and going up against such Goliaths, if you like, such titans in the Call of Duty scene as Epsilon. They're putting up a great fight here. That is still a lot for them to come back from, and we can see it's going to be Epsilon again straight away on that rotation, rated, doing Marky's job now, just hopping up and down in that corner, making himself difficult to hit, difficult to find as well. And do you know what, Stealth? I think this might be the end for the hard point for Nexium. Well, yeah, there's still 60 seconds difference, and there's 90 seconds left to play for. It's quite possible they can do it. I don't think they will be able to, because Epsilon are holding this down just beautifully. Yeah.
Well, it's going to be Nexium making some big kills, actually. Is this still possible? Yeah, of course it is. There's still time to do this, but Nexium are going to have to pretty much get every single point remaining with little errors. We can see Rez doing a great job, actually, just holding top green. He's the only person still on there. And they are actually bringing this back. Whether they're going to be able to hold square for this long, I don't know. So L is going to have to get every single point. If they somehow pull this off, Stealth, my goodness.
Yeah, we're in for one hell of an ending. This could be just fantastic. But it will be Epsilon who will hold down the hard point for this last few seconds. And as I say that, there are just 48 seconds left on the clock, and Epsilon will take map number 1.
Yeah, it's going to be impossible now. And I've got to say that's such a shame for Nexium, really. They played so well, and it seems to be the same old story. We see these top-tier teams struggle as in the opening stages of the game, but then they just show the wealth of experience, if they like. They sort of stick together, work together well, and they bring it back in the end and take the victory. But Nexium really proving a point here. I mean, even if they were to get knocked down to the lower bracket, certainly a team you guys want to be watching out for.
Oh, yeah, 100%. I mean, Rez there, 32 and 41. A lot of deaths there, but he was challenging a lot. You know, look at his hard points as well.
Yeah.
He was holding it down 11 times. You know, that's an impressive stat in itself.
Yeah, I mean, and it's exactly like I say, as much as we joke about with Rez sometimes, he's a really good player. He's got 11 captures, heavy objective work, and you could see just from the periods where we were actually giving him some coverage, his fluidity, the way he can maneuver himself around the map with such ease is very, very impressive. And you know, he could be what Nexium need to actually take down a team like Epsilon. He could be that missing link, if you like, that so many teams don't seem to have when it comes to playing a top-tier team like these guys.
Oh, yeah, 100%. I'm really interested to see how this uplink game goes, especially after seeing how well Nexium play together as well. I mean, if they carry on the way that they ended that, they could possibly take it.
Yeah.
But it's Epsilon.
Yeah. I mean, it's like I was saying, that game fell apart for Nexium in the final 3 hard points, really. The very final hard point in Square or Biolab, whatever you refer to it as, was much of a muchness, but it was the top green area and the box room as well,
yep.
Particularly the box room. As soon as he got that massive lead in blue, if you refer to it as that, then that was kind of it. Nexium were always on the back foot. They were making challenges they wouldn't normally make. They couldn't compose themselves, and they just fell apart. And you just kind of feel that Nexium, they got that early lead, which put them in a great position, and they almost played quite passively from there. But Epsilon, just as I said, have that experience. They know how to handle that situation, and as soon as they did get ahead, Nexium just couldn't catch up.
Yeah, exactly, and that's how they ended up winning. I mean, Nexium were a little bit quicker on the rotations at times, and that's what they've managed to hold that lead straight off the start. Obviously, they added, I think it was a 20-point lead straight off the first hard point, but then they rotated early, they were holding it down well, and it's unfortunate that they just couldn't maintain that composure.
Yeah. And this is something that I said actually when I've been watching teams play around the event. Something that I've noticed is that the newcomers to this LAN or to LANs in general, I know there's a lot of new faces here. It's great to see more teams actually participating in events like this. They're more hungry for the win, and you can almost feel that. You can see when they're playing the hype that they're bringing to the games, and it almost takes these experienced teams by surprise who are quite complacent when they go into matches. I mean, I mentioned it before. Sorry to keep highlighting this for the Vitality boys, but 2 Vitality players didn't even show up for the first map of their
that
first
was a little
series.
Unfortunate.
And that just kind of shows you that maybe they're not, I don't know, taking the other teams as seriously, and they could slip up if they're not careful.
Yeah, I think some of the bigger teams may take it for granted.
Yeah.
There's a lot of amateur teams here, and they shouldn't really take it so lightly. A lot of these are playing, for pride. They're here to prove a point, and some of them are just doing that.
All right, well, it is going to be uplink on Detroit next. We've seen what Nexium are capable of doing, and we, of course, know a lot about Epsilon, an organisation that's competed internationally with a variety of players. Marky, I'd probably say the most well-known member of this team, actually, a huge community figure, and a lot of fans for this guy. I mean, let's talk a little bit more about Marky. For me personally, where he excels is search and destroy, if it does go to that. I know he puts a lot of work into strategies, but that's reflected as well in the objective-based game modes, and he is very much a leader, a commander of this team. He's going to be calling the shots, very vocal in games.
Yeah, he's one of those figures within the Call of Duty community that you just look up to. He's always been about. He's one of those personalities you just think, He's a top guy.
Yeah, and you know, as I say, is going to be bringing that forward. In contrast, we do have slightly quieter players such as Joe on the team, who he kind of just minds his own business. He does what he does. Marky can trust him to make those pushes. He knows the game well, and you can kind of see this now. That kill feed then was completely red. Epsilon really taking control of this game. Rated now making this push through school. Rez trying to shut things down, picking up a 2-piece, but Joe causing trouble in that spawn. This should be an easy, guaranteed 2 points, and there we go, straight away within the first minute.
Yeah, great their spawn manipulation from Epsilon, making sure that they would spawn out into green, making it nice and easy for them to just run straight the way through school and dunk that home for 2 points.
Yep, and it's going to be Joe now who we have on the stream. The uplink drone does get dropped, and he's making this push once again. He's actually thrown that drone down. He's going to come up against 3. I think that was a wise decision, actually. There was no way he was going to be able to breach through school in that kind of situation. But either way, he does get taken out. That uplink drone is going to be picked up by Marky, make an alternate push. Shut down, though, mid-map.
Yeah, 3 players down for Epsilon. This is an opportune moment for Nexium to just push straight the way down to Mid Street and possibly get at least a 1-point play out of this. But massive need coming in, shutting them down.
Yeah, there we go. I want to see a bit more of Nexium. L was playing brilliantly in that previous game, and I think it was L who was putting up the big numbers, if I do recall correctly, particularly in the first half. I know things slowed down for him in the second half, but it's not going to matter all that much. Epsilon secure yet another point. Remember, this is just a best-of-3 game in winner bracket round number 4, so if this uplink game goes in Epsilon's favour, that is going to be it. Nexium are sent to the lower bracket, and Epsilon will continue their storm through the upper bracket.
They will indeed, and Rez is actually off to a fantastic start. He's 10-4, and well, all 4 players go down for Nexium. This is not good. This will definitely be like an Epsilon at least 2 points now, because they manipulate the spawns perfectly once again. Marky with the drone in the hand, and 2 points coming in.
Oh no! Ooh. Just about a little bit of a mistake from Marky there with the exo boosting, but he finds his way to that uplink sensor and does secure another 2 points. And Epsilon really making this look easy now, because what's quite interesting is the actual kills, kill deaths, they're quite consistent. If you add up the overall ones for the team, we can see Rez really doing most of the work for Nexium here, but the point is that's just not reflected with the score. So Epsilon are making those important kills and making the better pushes.
Yeah, the one thing about uplink is not all about the kills. Obviously you need to get kills to be able to clear your path, but it's all about that teamwork and knowing when to push and making those kills count.
Yep, absolutely. Well, let's see a little bit more of Rez, see what he's going to be able to produce here, and he knows that somebody is in that area. Was Joe that was his initial target, but he is going to empty a lot of bullets, and Rez being quite unfortunate here. He's not got enough ammunition. That isn't going to be a point, but that uplink drone's in a very dangerous position.
Yeah, it's now left onto the main street, but Riri's there just to go ahead and reset that. Smart play. You don't want to be caught with a drone at hand anywhere near that portal. As soon as you get anywhere near there, just get it out of play and throw it and go for the reset.
Yeah, and it's going to be Reedy now. Again, trying to extend that lead. Epsilon showing no signs of slowing down at all. Uplink drone gets dropped as 3 go down. Marky left on his own for a brief period of time here. He's in a great position to provide some good cover around that middle map. His teammates should have spawned up. I think Epsilon are still safe. Yeah,
Joe's now going to push straight the way through Garage. He's going to try and shut off anyone trying to rotate all the way through, but L's actually trying to go down through to Green Street, I believe, and it's a big 2-piece there from Joe just to try and stop the movement. And he can't even get through the window. That's a little bit awkward.
Yeah, and Joe windmilling around with that shot. Fortunately for him, Reedy was there to pick up 2. Joe just trying to make his way through school once again. You can see how this is such a favoured route. I mean, the cover that it provides and the manipulation of spawns certainly benefits this push. Joe not needing to do that as 3 go down. There's only one person that could have stopped him, and Tank is shut down as well, which means now Epsilon 7-0 in the lead in just the first half.
Yeah, just 45 seconds remaining on this first half, and I love the movement from Joe then. Just duck and diving and swoop in between the lampposts and, go home with a 2-point play there. Beautiful play.
There we go with Rez. Opening fire, unable to connect with those bullets, is going to get taken out by Reedy there with the headshot. Riri's going to try and venture in and avenge his death. Is he going to be able to do it? Yes, he is, but that uplink drone now has been picked up by Marky, and he's been shut down in school, which means things have opened up once again for Epsilon.
Oh, good movement there from Marky, just to dodge straight out of the way. However, he does run into trouble straight outside the school stairs and will be shut down. 3 players down for Epsilon, but with 9 seconds left on the clock, the most that Nexium can come out of this is a 1-point play. Yeah, and I thought they might actually be able to get that in the dying seconds, but doesn't look like it is to be. So first side is going to end 7-0 to Epsilon. Very convincing victory there. A lot more so than we saw on the hard point, that's for sure, which, as we said, was very, very close up until the final 3 hard points in the 10 hard point rotation. So first hard point game, just to refresh your memory or to update you guys who are just joining us now, went 2-4-1 to 1-5-8 on hard point Biolab.
to Epsilon. This is currently 7-0 to Epsilon on Uplink Detroit.
So you're looking at this at the minute. Nexium down 0-7 at the half. To be fair to them, they were spawning on bad side. Obviously, you want to be, pushing through to school because, there's a lot more coverage there. But you're looking at this, what do Nexium do to change this up? Because 4 players down straight off the bat, not a good start for them. And, Epsilon are just going to make them suffer for this.
Yeah, and I think another question we've got to ask ourselves is why on earth is Reedy using a Lynx? But we'll discuss that as well a little bit later on. Obviously, Epsilon quite confident. Lynx quite an unusual gun to bring out here. Not even the Moors. So I say that he's just picked up a 2-piece with it. Let's see what's going on with Reedy.
You've got to love this. Let's see if he can pick up any more. He does try to get the quick scope straight into the yellow window. Doesn't actually connect with it.
Oh, dear. There we go. Finally
bit of
connects.
wavy shots, but finally connects with one.
And Epsilon still extending this lead, though. I mean, to go back to your original question, though, Stealth, the only thing that Nexium can really do is exactly what Epsilon did, but better. Epsilon were pushing the right way. They weren't doing anything out of the ordinary. It was just that they were outclassing or outperforming Nexium. So they've got to do the same, but so far it's not started off well. I mean, we can see Epsilon extending that lead even further, and there's absolutely no glimmers of hope from Nexium. They just need to get the ball rolling.
Yeah, they do. Riri now with the drone in the hand. He's going to probably go ahead and get a 2-point play here.
Oh.
No! He is shut down, but the 1 point will come in, so at least there's a bit of consolation there.
Yeah, it's better than nothing, but they're going to need a lot more than that if they want to find themselves taking this victory. Reedy is, or very easily should be able to make that a 1 point play, which he does. 12-1 now. Epsilon looking so dominant. And, I mentioned this before in the first half, but this is the thing I love about Uplink. It's, of course, kills play a big part in any game mode, but it's not a kill-dependent game mode. You can see that from the score lines and from the way the players are playing. This is all about strategy, and Epsilon are just outclassing Nexium.
Oh yeah, 100%. I love actually watching Uplink. It's one of my favorite game modes. It's just so fast paced, and you rely on the team so much because obviously when you have that drone in your hand, you can't use your gun. So you're going to have to rely on your teammates to clear the path for you, and then you push.
And of course they do have the option to pass or to try the manual throws to connect to the teammates, but doesn't always pay off. Here we go though. Epsilon Joe is going to be the Uplink drone carrier, just waiting for his moment to pounce, and now is going to be it as Rated does take down Riri. And I think there's only one player left. It's for Nexium that can stop this. If Joe can just sneak through. There we go. Yeah, 2 points.
Nicely done there by Joe. Just bid his time, waited until the path was clear. As I said before, you rely on your teammates to do that. And Epsilon are doing this absolutely perfectly.
Well, still with Joe now. I mean, we've given him a lot of coverage. Let's give some love to Rated here, who's a fantastic player and been playing so strong with Epsilon as well. See what he can do. Uplink drone is down. That's a cast a curse there as he does get shut down almost immediately. I want to see more of Rady though. I want to get back on board with him and see what he can do.
Yeah, he's still going to be just pushing up towards this blue wall. He doesn't actually connect. He does see one player ahead of him. He does get shut down. That will be Riri doing the work there. And again, Riri gets taken down as Joe takes him out. And that's a big hit there from Marquez. He destroys his face. Yeah.
Melee comes in, and again, this should be further points to Epsilon, making this look very, very easy now. A very different tale to what we saw in the hardpoint game. And, as a team, I've got to say, Epsilon, as you can probably see here, I think Uplink is their stronger game mode, in my personal opinion. I think, again, it's just that added X factor that Marky brings when it comes to strategy, commands his team so well. Nexium are trying all he can, and that is not a throw that they can really afford to miss at all at this stage, but nevertheless, it's not going to go in their favour.
No, you need to be really hitting those, especially because it's going to just chip away at that lead, and well, with 1 minute and 10 seconds left on the clock, it's probably not going to count amass to much, but it's just a bit of pride now.
Yeah, and Reedy still with that Lynx single shot. It's going to go down. It's just, as we say, a very unusual gun to bring out, but I think it's got to that point in the game where they know they're taking the victory regardless. And to be fair to him, he was actually playing quite well with it before, so let's not knock it just yet.
Yeah, I completely agree with you there. So we're going to hop on board with Tank and see if he can do anything. He does fire an EMP grenade, isn't able to connect with it. He does beat down, I believe that was Marky, and picks up the drone for his troubles. Unfortunately, wasn't able to hop over the blue wall, and that's the end of that attack.
Yeah, well, time is ticking away. I think it's pretty safe to say that Nexium aren't going to be able to fight their way back into this game. So let's just almost recap what we've seen so far on this uplink game so far. Completely first side was Epsilon domination. Absolutely nothing Nexium was even producing. I don't even think there was even a single push that was close to capturing a point. This second side, you know, there have been glimmers of hope from Nexium, but nowhere near enough to actually cause any significant damage.
Yeah, really. I don't really want to know what it was. It was, you know, they weren't really pushing as a unit. They weren't really manipulating them spawns to be able to go ahead and get those caps. Every time they were trying to push, it seemed really lackluster. They weren't going about it with a bit more aggression. It might have changed. Yeah,
and whilst we are, of course, having a great time on the AM2PRO stream, myself and Stealth clearly being invited to a party here with Nans and fans. You know, we will be checking you guys out later. So we're going to kind of wrap things up yeah, let's just cut to ourselves maybe. And there we go. Hello, everyone. Yeah, great game that we saw, though. Things are going to finish off in that best of 3 with a 2-0 victory for Epsilon. It's a shame for Nexium. I was really impressed with the hardpoint game. Genuinely really thought they might have been able to take that, but that uplink game was completely one-sided. It was always going Epsilon's way.
Yeah, to be fair, I kind of hope Nexium were going to take the uplink game just so I could see how they would fare in a search and destroy. I don't know if it would have been a different story. You know, Epsilon, a really strong team themselves, and Marky, he's just an S&D player all round, so if he had pulled that off, it could have been different.
Well, things are panning out as a lot of people predicted back home. We are seeing these top teams push their way through the winner bracket and find themselves edging closer and closer to the grand final. But we have seen a lot of talent from people that you might not have expected. Guys, this is the last stream, the last match of the day, but do join us tomorrow where there'll be a lot more games on twitch.tv/AM2PRO. I've been Rel, this has been Stealth, and we are signing out.